In the Field updates on Market Journal are supported by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Let's start here with our In the Field update. Back in April, we visited with Dan Kristensen, who farms in the Minden, Nebraska region. At that time, he was looking forward to another growing season in the midst of his planting season. We fast forward though here in July, and as you can see behind me, hail has wiped out thousands of acres of crops in this area. We're following up with how Dan is responding now after this storm damage. This stem is all that's left for soybeans out here in central Nebraska following a weekend hailstorm. Area producer Dan Kristensen is joining us second time here for the 2024 growing season for In the Field updates. Dan, we look back to April, a lot of optimism going into the growing season. We visited with you, and here we are, early July. You had 3 waves of hail come through on the same day. Bring me back to last Saturday when all this took place.
Yeah, the hail came through pretty bad on the last storm, I guess, but we had a wave come in, went to the basement, a wave came in, went to the basement again, and the wind was not as bad the first storm or the hail, but this out here, this all happened in about 45 minutes. It was just crazy. And it probably was a narrow band, but it lasted a while, so it wasn't good.
It's hard to describe, absolutely pummeled is the word I'm using at the moment to describe these corn and soybean fields. But how wide of a swath is the damage we're seeing like this here in your soybean field?
So like this stuff is the worst. I'm going to say that was probably 4 miles wide. Probably started over north of Holdridge all the way to, it probably honestly went to Hastings for all I know. That's the worst part of it, but the hail in general was just awful. Hail and wind, green snap, that's really widespread, county-wise. Yeah.
What size hail fell?
I don't know.
You were in the basement.
You were in the basement, but I've seen pictures of baseball, softball, that or even towards the west here, just a lot of little hail, but a lot. Sightings were covered with it and everything. It just was, depended where you were at, but it was anywhere from baseball, softball size.
As you mentioned, this soybean field we're in right now, probably one of the worst in terms of damage, but what percent of your crops got hit by this hailstorm, and how did the damage range?
Yeah, this is the worst for sure. I probably have 2 or 3 bean fields that look like this. I would say 20% is probably gone. Now, next week when we have the adjusters come out, I'm going to say that a lot of it won't even pollinate. We were just right towards tassel, so it definitely will have a long-term effect on putting on an ear and everything. So
for the crops that you're thinking at the moment are going to zero out, what do you do next?
Yeah, so like on this field, we're going to probably till it under just to make it flat, do some feed for the feedlots around, kind of get into a contract with them because they also got hit as well. And other than that, on my dry land stuff, I'll just summer fallow probably, and maybe put in wheat later. It's been a lot of planning. It's more work than what it should be. Yeah.
Looking at it seems like it was a broad swath. Looking at estimates online, several 100,000 acres with this range of hail in central Nebraska area. Just emotionally in the region, I'm sure this has to take a toll with a lot of area producers.
Yeah. Just planning on what we're going to do next. I think this is my 11th or 12th year farming, and I've never even thought about what it's like to get hailed out. But the planning of, all right, we got to get some feed lined up, get some seed. We're buying seed in early part of July. I never thought I'd be doing that. It's a lot more work than what a guy thought it would be. But it's also with reflecting back to the prices. It's kind of adding up some APHs and everything, and that spring price isn't the best, but it's a lot better than what the price is now. I think it might be a blessing on some of this stuff for me, just on the cost per acre and getting that APH. I do 120 insurance, and it's probably a better price than what I have growing. So if I was to sell it at the co-op, so.
Eternal optimist, have to have that in farming.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's quickly talk about maybe the other 80% of your crops not decimated by the hail with the weekend storm. How are they looking right now?
Oh, really good. The stuff that hasn't got hit, I have some seed corn that looks really good. We have some corn there's some corn that before this storm, all these fields look some of the best we've ever seen. So whatever hasn't gotten touched, I think will be a really good year. The optimism is obviously hopefully get as many bushels we can. But yet again, I don't think Mother Nature's done after this. So we'll just see how it goes. But everything looks really, really good that hasn't gotten touched.